Okay.
Good evening, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Sheila Lyons.
Thank you, Ms. Lyons. Ms. Lyons, you are here on a Superior Court new case as well as on an alleged Term 1 probation violation because of this new case. In your new case, ma'am, I find probable cause for the allegations of one count of killing a domestic animal without consent. That's a Class 5 felony. One count of assault.
I didn't hear what you said.
Okay. One count of killing a domestic animal without consent.
I didn't kill no animal.
Ms. Lyons, if you'll please wait just a moment. Let me finish, and I'll give you an
Okay.
opportunity to be heard. So, it's also one count of assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference November 1st, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing November 5th, 8:31 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I have set a secured appearance bond in your case, the amount of $2,500. You have a $500 bond in your probation case. Total bond is $3,000. Secured appearance means you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $3,000 would be $300. If you pay your bonds, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates, promising to comply with pretrial services supervision, and with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol. You must find an alternative residence, provide proof of the same to the court, and you must obey the terms of any order of protection or injunction against harassment that has been issued or which may be issued. So you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You may have no contact with the alleged victim for any reason, even if he contacts you first, and you may not reside at the same location as an alleged victim, even if you are an owner or renter of the residence. You're entitled to one civil standby. That's where you contact local law enforcement, schedule a time to meet an officer who will then escort you to the residence so that you can obtain your essential belongings. Ms. Lyons, you had a question?
I didn't kill any animal. I don't know why that's in there.
Okay.
It's not true.
Well, so what it's saying here is that a witness did observe you grabbing the victim's pet turkey with one hand and suffocating it.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay. Well, that's what's alleged here. I do find probable cause.
I took them back to where they lived.
Okay. I do find probable cause for the charge at this time. But I've appointed you an attorney so you can speak with your attorney about, the evidence and information that you have. Regarding your probation matter, Ms. Lyons, this is an alleged Term 1 probation violation. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing on November 4th at 8:30 a.m. I have set bond amount of $500 in this case. It's those same conditions and restrictions that I stated earlier. Ms. Lyons, do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay.
I do. I didn't kill any animal. I picked it up by the body, and I put it in the back of my truck. Took them back there.
Okay.
It was in the road. They were in the road.
Okay. And again, I wasn't there.
I know, but I didn't do that.
Okay. And what I'm saying is, there's a dead turkey, and then a witness observed you killing the turkey.
Well, what witness was that?
I don't know, ma'am. It just says that there was a witness that observed that. So, I've appointed you an attorney. You can speak with your attorney about it. Your attorney will be able to obtain the evidence that the state has for the charge and any evidence that you have as well.
Well, I took them back to where they live, but I have a right to go home, right?
I'm sorry, what?
I have a right to go to my home.
No, if your home is...
My home wasn't there. It was way down the road.
Okay, but there was an assault on your husband that's been alleged as well.
No, I didn't assault him.
Okay, no, I understand. It's your position that you didn't assault anyone, you didn't harm any animals.
No.
So understand, you're innocent unless proven guilty, but for today's purposes, I'm determining whether there's probable cause, which that means could you be charged with these crimes? I do find that there's probable cause based on what I'm reading here. So you cannot go home at this time. You can request a civil standby. That's where you contact local law enforcement, Schedule a time to meet an officer who will escort you to the residence so that you can obtain your essential belongings, like
Well,
cell phone,
where am I
wallet,
gonna
keys, things
stay?
like that. I don't know, ma'am. You can, I mean, perhaps
Can I
friends or
stay at my
family or a
son's, I
hotel.
can stay at my son's house?
Certainly, you can, yeah, you just can't
Okay,
go back to
if
the
he-
home without a police escort. Civil standby. Okay, thank you, Ms. Lyons.
Okay.
Bianca Jordan and then Timothy Flessner will be on deck. Good evening, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Bianca Jordan.
Thank you, Ms. Jordan. Ms. Jordan, you're here on a Pinal County warrant. This is from the Central Pinal Justice Court. You are charged of one count of disorderly conduct fighting, and I have appointed you an attorney for limited representation regarding the bond issue only. You have an arraignment hearing October 30th, 8:30 a.m. That is at the Central Pinal Justice Court. I am affirming the requested bond in the warrant in the amount of $1,054. It's a secured appearance bond. That means you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral, which would be $105.40. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're not to possess any weapons, and you must obey the terms of any order of protection or injunction against harassment that has been issued or which may be issued. Ms. Jordan, do you have any questions?
I do. I was really hoping if you wouldn't have a bond, because I have another bond on another one, which I have the money for. It's $1,000, and I have 5 kids at home right now. And, I have 5 kids at home right now, and I have money for the first bond, but not for the $2,000.
Okay.
And then when, sorry, I've never done this before.
No, that's
I
okay.
never read you. I was hoping you wouldn't have a bond for this one. I'm going to come to the courts, of course, but I do have 5 kids at home with the schooling and all, and it's hard to get a sitter for 5 kids. I understand 1 or 2, but but I have money for the first bond. I just don't have the $2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much those. And then with the
Yeah.
I'm trying not to cry.
No. These are hard
I've never
things.
been here. I've never been to jail.
Yeah. So the trouble is, Ms. Jordan, is that because this is from a different county.
I know. I thought the judge is Tarango. I thought he was gonna be on camera, but
Yeah, because it's from a different county, I have to enforce the warrant as it's written. So, unfortunately, I can't reduce the bond or make it a no bond or something like that.
okay. So most likely I'll just stay here till the court comes, or
Yeah, so if you're unable to pay the bond, then you'll remain in custody, and then they will transport you to the Central Pinal Justice Court.
okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Jordan. Good luck to you. Timothy Flessner and then Anthony DeSanctis will be on deck. Good evening, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Timothy J. Flessner.
Thank you, Mr. Flessner. Mr. Flessner, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations. 1 count of resisting arrest, risking physical injury, a Class 6 felony. 1 count of assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I have appointed you an attorney. Your case will be heard at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. You have a status conference November 1st, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing November 5th, 8:31 a.m. Mr. Flessner, I have set bond in the amount of $1,000. That is a secured appearance bond. That means you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $1,000 would be $100. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You'll see pretrial services for supervision, and you must comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. You're also not to have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're not to possess any weapons. You must find an alternative residence provide proof of the same to the court, and you must obey the terms of any order of protection or injunction against harassment that has been issued or which may be issued. You may have no contact with the alleged victim for any reason, even if she contacts you first, and you may not reside at the same location as an alleged victim, even if you are an owner or renter of the residence. You are entitled to one civil standby. That's where you contact local law enforcement, schedule a time to meet an officer who will escort you to the residence so you can obtain your essential belongings. Mr. Flessner, do you have any questions? Oh, officer, I do want to see Miss Jordan again. I'm sorry. It looks like she was getting ready to leave. Miss Jordan, who was just up here. Okay, all right.
I was just telling her to sit on the back.
Oh, okay. All right. Mr. Flessner, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Flessner.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me, if I could see Bianca Jordan again.
Jordan?
Ms. Jordan, here's what I'm going to do. I've just given it a little more thought. What I'm going to do is set this as an unsecured bond. Okay, an unsecured bond means you don't have to pay anything today. Okay, you'll be able to be released. You'll need to pay the other bond
Yeah,
first.
I have
You
that
said
one.
you can do that one, right?
I that one.
Okay, so then it will allow you to be released, but you've got court on October 30th, so understand that's just 3 days from now, Wednesday the 30th.
Yeah, that one, it will be in Eloy, well, it'll be the second one. This one right here will be.
This is the Central Canal Justice
Yeah,
Court.
so it'll be, okay.
Okay.
I understand that.
Yeah, I think it is in Eloy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I do this, will you be able to get there?
Yeah, I live in Eloy, so.
Oh, okay. All right. And will you promise
It's a
me
little,
you'll go?
it's a little town.
Okay. Will you promise me you'll go?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
But I
all
don't
right.
want to do this again.
So in other words, it's only due if you don't appear. If you do appear, then the bond gets wiped out. You don't have to pay a penny of it. Okay? So it's incentive for you to go.
So once I pay the other one, I'll be good.
Yes, once you pay the other one, then you'll be able to be released, and then just make sure to show up.
Yes.
You promised me on this one, and I'm sure you'll show up in the other one as well.
I
Get these taken care of.
Yes,
Okay. All right. Ms. Jordan, do you have any other questions?
no doubt.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jordan. Good luck
Thank
to you.
you so much.
You're welcome. Anthony DeSanctis and then Cody Hack will be on deck. Good evening, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Anthony DeSanctis, 3.
Thank you, Mr. DeSanctis. Mr. DeSanctis, you are here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant. This is for alleged violations of terms 3, 4, 5, and 15. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing November 4th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am affirming bond in the amount of $250. That's a secured appearance bond. That means that you technically can work with a bail bonding company. However, the amount's so low, I don't believe any will work with that number.
Yeah.
I may be mistaken, though. At any rate, if you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on the 4th. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. DeSanctis, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Cody Hack, and then Adriana Roman will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Cody Hack, 29.
Thank you, Mr. Hack. Mr. Hack, you are here on a municipal court. Just a moment.
It's just a fraud, isn't it?
Yeah.
From a misdemeanor fraud from like 2 years ago or something that came up randomly?
Well, just one moment,
Oh,
sir.
sorry.
Yeah, it's not showing me the date. It's not a clear, I mean, it's just a fax warrant, so.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so just a moment, sir.
I apologize.
So the charges are 1 count of theft, obtaining goods by misrepresentation, 1 count of using or altering a sale receipt. These are both misdemeanors. You have an arraignment hearing at the Peoria Municipal Courthouse, November 14th, 9 a.m. Mr. Hack, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, so you're going to leave here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on the 14th, and you're promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime.
Yeah.
Mr. Hack, do you have any questions?
No,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hack. Adriana Roman and then Lisa Tharp will be on deck. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Adriana Roman,
Thank you, Ms. Roman. Ms. Roman, you're here on a Maryvale Justice Court case. You are charged with 1 count of DUI based on drugs and metabolite, 1 count of DUI. Those are both Class 1 misdemeanors. You will have an attorney appointed to your next hearing. That will be an arraignment hearing at the Maryvale Justice Court November 13th at 1 p.m. I am going to release you on your own recognizance. So that means you will leave here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on the 13th. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol. Ms. Roman, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Lisa Tharp.
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
My name is Lisa K. Tharp. My date of birth is...
Thank you, Ms. Tharp. Ms. Tharp, you're here on a municipal court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation. 1 count of disorderly conduct fighting. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor. I have appointed you, you'll have an attorney appointed at your next hearing. That will be an arraignment hearing at the town of Wickenburg on November 13th at 9 a.m. Ms. Tharp, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, so you will leave here in approximately 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you are being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're not to possess any weapons. You must find an alternative residence, provide proof of the same to the court, and you must obey the terms of any order of protection or injunction against harassment that has been issued or which may be issued. You may have no contact with any alleged victims for any reason. Even if they contact you first, you also may not reside at the same location as an alleged victim, even if you are an owner or renter of the residence. You are entitled to 1 civil standby. That's where you contact local law enforcement. You schedule a time to meet an officer who will escort you to the residence so you can obtain your essential belongings. Ms. Tharp, do you have any questions?
Yes, this didn't happen at a residence where I live. It happened at work, and it was my brother. We work together.
Okay, so you can't go back to work then if that's where this occurred, and it did appear that, I guess, you reside with your brother, correct? No?
No.
Because it's talking about a roommate. Yeah, I mean, this is saying you're a roommate, and that this started at the residence. I'll just say the number is 218.
No.
Okay. Well, at any rate, that's the information I have. So at this time, you cannot go back there without the civil standby to obtain your essential belongings. And then you can speak with your attorney about modifying these release conditions.
So where am I supposed to go?
So perhaps there's a friend or a family member you can stay at, or a hotel.
First I gotta do is get back to Wickenburg.
Okay.
It didn't happen at the residence. I don't even understand why I'm here. I'm the one with all the bruises all over me.
Okay. So it's alleged that you engaged in disorderly conduct fighting. I do find probable cause in here. What this is saying is that you were very intoxicated. So you may not remember what happened, or maybe you do and what the information in here isn't correct. I don't know. You're innocent unless proven guilty. You can speak with your attorney about how you can make changes to my release conditions and also about, fighting the case. Do you have any other questions, Ms. Tharp?
Nothing that's gonna help.
Okay. Thank you.